Hey everybody, here we go. Today's notes, volume of cylinders. We have already tackled volume of rectangular prisms and cubes. We then attacked volume of triangular prisms, and now we're going to tackle volume of cylinders. Now, when we talk about a cylinder, we're talking about shapes like this, okay? Like a Pringles can. Ranch, very good flavor, one of my favorites. Again, we're talking about the space on the inside, which you can see these are gone. But there's room on the inside for more stuff. Volume. A can, this is just a can of soup. That is a cylinder. This big cylinder of oatmeal, which has an answer at the bottom for when we did problems in class. Again, just another example of a cylinder. Soda cans, any kind of cans, lots of those are very obvious cylinders. Now, you will notice that I have out both your formula chart and your notes page today, because this is something you want to start having with you all the time, because now that we've added doing cylinders and you just did circles into all the work we're doing here with geometry, you want to make sure you have the formula chart in front of you so you know that you're using the right one. Don't ever try to guess at a formula. You are given a formula chart for a reason. It's kind of a cheat sheet, but it's there to help you to make sure you get the right formula. So definitely use it. Okay, so I have this next to you. So I'm going to zoom in here, and we're going to work through these examples of volume of cylinders. Now, the formula that we're using for volume of cylinders is exactly the same as we were using for volume of prisms, cubes, and triangular prisms. Again, this rule works because we're finding the area of the base, and even though this is a cylinder, it technically has two bases. Okay, this circle here and this one here. So when we cover up those two bases, that's what we're doing. We're talking about the two bases we have, and that's why the formula works, even though the shape of the base is a little bit different. So our formula, big B, which by now, hopefully you've got that in your head, is the area of the base, times the height of the actual prism. So in this case, it's a cylinder. It's not really a prism, but it works the same way. Now, when I do problems like this, I like to go ahead and get this figured out immediately. That height, the height of this cylinder is 2, okay? So I like getting that out of the way nice and quick, because that way, once I do that, I know I'm done with that number. I don't have to do anything else with it. So we're doing volume. So again, we're just filling out our notes page here. Volume. We are naming the shape, which of course it does say cylinder, but we're just going to write it again. The formula, even though it's written down here, we're going to write it. Volume equals big B times H. Volume is area of the base times height. And now the shape of the base. Well, we're going to write down that it's a circle, and we're going to lightly shade it in because I don't want to cover up everything. I just want to, so I know that it's there. Now, there's one underneath here too. You just can't see it, but you should also know that it's down there. Now, the area of the base. So now we got to look at our formula chart, because now we're finding the area of a circle. So we look here for area. All the way at the bottom, we see circle, and move to the right, and we see pi r squared. You probably have heard that before, especially since we just did this yesterday. So the area of the base is pi times radius squared. So we're going to come over here, we're going to do that. We're going to solve for big B. Remember, finding big B always involves some kind of process. Some formula's got to go there. It's never just some number that you see on a shape. It's something you have to solve. So we're going to write down the formula again. Big B is pi times radius squared. Okay, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit for this work. So we're going to fill this in. Now, for this notes page, we're just going to use 3 for pi, just to make it a little easier. So we're going to write this out. 3 times the radius is 5 squared. So pi is here, radius here, and we're going to square that. Now again, quick reminder, we always follow order of operations. Every single math problem that has more than one thing to do, your first thought should be PEMDAS. PEMDAS, PEMDAS. Got to follow the order of operations. There's no parentheses here, but there's definitely an exponent. That means that part has to happen first. 5 squared is 25. And just bring down the rest of this, and I find out 3 times 25 is 75. And that's the area of that circle. That's just the first part though. So I come over here, we solve that, it's 75. Now I'm going to go back to the rest of the formula. I'm going to write this right down here. I've got the two numbers I need. I solve for the area of the base, right here, which is the big B. I already wrote down what the height was, okay, and I know it says prism here, but we know that this is a type of prism, so it's, yes, it's a cylinder, so if you want to cross that out, that's fine, cylinder. Okay, so we found the area of the base was 75. The height, again, the height is the line that connects the two bases. So that line right there connects the circle on the bottom to the one on the top. So that's my height, 75 times 2 gives me an answer of 150. And since we're dealing with meters, and since this is volume, we write 150 cubic meters. So now we found the answer to that. Alright, now the next example we're going to do is going to be done almost the same, except when we deal with this circle, they're giving us this line here. Now it's kind of hard to tell that that's the diameter, but that's the line that goes basically from here all the way to here, that circle. Okay? And when we do the area of the circle formula, they ask for radius. So when we get to that, we need to be aware of that. Okay, so let's go fill in our notes page. Volume of surface area, volume or surface area. We're doing volume. The name of the shape is a cylinder. The formula is still big B times H, area of the base times the height. Shape of the base is a circle. It wants us to shade it in, so I'm just going to shade in this top one because I don't want to cover up the diameter that I put down here. But I know that's also another base. And now, area of the base. Again, area of the base is the circle. I would have looked at my formula chart and found pi times radius squared. Okay? And we're going to solve that. Now, unfortunately, I think we're going to end up with the same answer we had before, but that's okay. We're still going to solve the same. So we're doing pi times radius squared is the area of the base. We're going to use 3. And again, they gave us a diameter all the way across of 12, but our formula asks for radius, so we have to take half of this. So halfway across would just be 5. So 3 times 5 squared. Again, order of operations, we're going to do the exponent first, then multiply. We're going to get the same answer we got before. And if you want to, you could write down that this is in square centimeters, because again, all we found right here is the area of the circle, 75 square centimeters. So then we come back up here to our notes part. We found out that it was 75 square centimeters. The height, again, and here I am. I told you that I like to always deal with the height first, but I didn't do it. However, the height, if you look on your cylinder to the left, is 15. Again, it's this line that connects the two bases. Now, there will be times, and I'm going to draw another one just to show you, where they will draw a cylinder on its side like this, okay? Well, the height then is going to be this line right here, because even though it's laying down like that, the base is still this circle here, and the one that you can't see that's back here. Okay, so you got to be aware of where the height is. In this one, it's pretty easy to see that it's this line that's 15, top to bottom. Alright, so now I've got my big B. I found that. I've got my height of the actual cylinder. And again, it says prism here if you want to write cylinder there. And so now I'm just going to fill those in and do them. The volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. The area of the base we found was 75. The height was 15. Now I'm going to show you, you should do this, so I'm going to do it. I'm not going to take any shortcuts. I'm doing 75 times 15. You get 1,125 and that's in cubic centimeters. So that's the answer for that one. All right. So, whoa, go the other way. We have now solved both of those problems for volume of cylinder, or cylinders, whichever. And we will work on these in class, so please be prepared, and we will see you then.